Greetings, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
My name's Adele Quo.
And we're noticeably down one person here at the anchor desk tonight. Senor Pineda is on assignment, I guess.
That's right, in sunny California.
Southern California. And Miriam is also on assignment as of this taping. So we'll carry on here and make do. We have our usual lineup of stuff on the show. News and CBB. Adele is here with
It's Easy Being Green.
Well, the two of us can muster that. Holy cow. A roll-in, another installment of Rich Remembers, our News for Seniors segment, and then Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute talking with Greg Moran and J. Simmons. And that's our show, but before we go, a social media reminder from my beautiful co-anchor here.
Well, thanks. That's right, Craig. You can follow us on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, or our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
All right, good job. Thank you, Adele. And here we go, as promised now, our news segment. First of our news items, well, Metro commuters are suffering from the effects of WMATA's, the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority's safety repairs, but car drivers could be in a similar situation with the bridge closing. The Arlington Memorial Bridge, which connects Arlington with the district across the Potomac River, averted closure this week thanks to a $90 million grant. The 84-year-old bridge was designed to survive for 75 years, but lack of attention and maintenance has left the bridge in such disrepair that it was pegged to be closed by 2021 if repairs weren't made soon. Total repairs are projected to cost $250 million. The $90 million fund will fund phase one of the repair project. The money was awarded by the Department of Transportation. So, Memorial Bridge saved by the bell. Adele.
Well, in local school news, the Arlington School Board elected a new chair and vice chair. Nancy Van Doren is the new leader of the school board for the 2016 to 2017 academic year. She replaces Dr. Emma Villan Sanchez, who remains a member of the board. Van Doren discussed maintaining high standards and expectations for all students in the face of the steep growth in the number of enrolled students in recent years. Van Doren joined the school board in the fall of 2014. She has been an APS parent, volunteer, and PTA president in addition to being a member of other Arlington County committees and working groups. Her professional background is in business and international affairs. She holds a graduate degree in management from the Hartford Graduate Center and Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Craig.
All right, and in other school board news, the Arlington School Board has a new vice chair as well, Dr. Barbara Kanninen. Kanninen is replacing Nancy Van Doren, who's the previous vice chair under Dr. Emma Villan Sanchez. Ms. Kanninen joined the school board at the start of 2015. She is a PhD, environmental economist, children's book author, school and community leader. She has served on the school board's Early Childhood Advisory Committee, the Math Advisory Committee, and ACI, as well as the County Board's Fiscal Affairs Advisory Committee, and the Board of Youth Ultimate League of Arlington. Ms. Kanninen is a decades-long Arlington resident and parent of Arlington school students. She's a former assistant professor at the Hubert Humphrey Institute of Public Affairs at the University of Minnesota and a senior economist at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the Gilbert F. White Fellow. She was a Gilbert F. White Fellow at the Resources for the Future. So congratulations to Ms. Kanninen.
Yes, congratulations to both women.
Both of them. Adele.
And in more news for women, we have Arlington women that were recently honored for their commitment and leadership in the community. Diane Kresh, Rebecca Carpenter, And Susan Sen received the Women of Vision Awards from the Arlington County Commission on the Status of Women, or CSW. Kresh is the county's public library director. She won the award for her contributions to government. Carpenter won recognition for her contributions in business. She created and is still the head of an organic urban agriculture business called Sprout. Susan Sen was honored for her nonprofit work. She's an executive member of the American Association of University Women's Arlington branch. You can learn more at tinyurl.com/CSW-Vision Awards. Congratulations to all.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Adele. And also in 100-year news, Arlington Memorial Bridge may be close to 100 years old, but Arlington has more valuable treasures that have already reached the century mark. At the end of June, Arlington's Department of Human Services and Arlington Agency on Aging and Disability Services celebrated local residents who have made it to their 100th birthday. The celebration was held to recognize their significance in the community. The centenarians were asked about their secret for longevity. Answers ranged from staying active to drinking wine and taking vitamin B. So there's a heads up for you.
I like that,
folks
drinking wine.
trying to reach that 100 mark. All right, we'll be back with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file right after Adele, and it's
Easy being green.
Here's Adele.
Welcome, thank you to another episode of It's Easy Being Green, enjoying a green brew, especially with our friend here, Joe, our mascot. We're enjoying a green brew from food waste or wastewater. On a wave of sustainable brewing trends, 2 interesting brews with environmental credentials surfaced from across the Atlantic recently. The world's first zero-waste beer was just released, and the reviews rave. It tastes incredible. Northern Monk Brew Company in Leeds, England, teamed up with the Real Junk Food Project to use food waste to make their sustainable beer named Wasted. Wasted is a pear farmhouse ale made from overripe pears, stale croissants, and brioche that would otherwise have been discarded. After the brewing process, all the spent grains and hops are donated to local farms for feed or fertilizer. The champagne yeast is reused in other brews. And for packaging, the beer goes into bottles made from 100% recycled glass. On the same side of the pond, food activist Tristram Stewart wondered what happened to all those thousands of unloved bread heels that typically gets tossed in the trash. This contemplation led him to create Toast Ale, the first British beer to be made with surplus bread ends obtained from bakeries. If they weren't used this way, the bread would just end up in the landfill. Their unique recipe for Toast Ale replaced about 40% of the malt barley with the leftover bread, toasted to add a caramely note. Each bottle contains roughly a slice of leftover bread. Tristram estimates the beer will help to offset some of the estimated 24 million slices of bread being thrown away each year in the UK. Back in the US of A, California brewery Half Moon Bay created a drought-friendly craft beer from recycled gray water. That's right, the wastewater that comes from our sinks, showers, dishwashers, and washing machines, but not from the toilets. Half Moon Bay uses the same technology found on the International Space Station that transforms urine and sweat into drinkable water. The greatest challenge is getting people over the psychological resistance to reusing gray water. The brewery has been sampled twice, and the brew is offering select tastings of its Gray Water IPA. In a blind taste test, people could not tell the difference. So remember, it's easy being green, enjoying a green brew from food waste or wastewater.
Unbelievable.
Kind of weird, right?
I could see maybe the rotten pears and the brioche. What is brioche? A bread?
It's a fancy croissant type bread.
Croissant and the other stuff, wasted beer, but I don't know about wastewater beer.
It's a little far reach, but
That's
hey.
a stretch for me. You know.
It does sound a little weird.
Holy cow. Well, there's some information for you. Thanks, Adele.
Soon to be on our shelves.
Oh, well, I don't know. We'll see about that. All right, here we go as promised now with our CBB, or Community Bulletin Board file. Every Thursday afternoon in July and August, Arlington Public Library will show sports-themed movies. The movies will run from 2 to 4 in the afternoon at different branches. You can visit library.arlingtonva.us and then click on Summer Reading Sports Film Series under Featured Events for more details. Here are a few of the movies that are coming up here. Thursday, the next one is July 11th at Shirlington's Branch Campbell Room. You can watch We Are Marshall. That's a great movie. The movie's about a town and a football team and how they cope with the unthinkable, an airplane crash involving the team and the coaches and fans. And then on the 14th, you can watch Concussion in the multi-purpose room at Columbia Pike Branch Library. The movie stars Will Smith, and he portrays real-life doctor who discovered chronic traumatic encephalopathy. I knew I was going to have trouble with that. The story deals with the doctor's efforts to bring this condition to public attention despite tremendous pushback from the NFL and other interests. And then there's a couple more, Adele.
That's right. If you are there on July 18th, The Cutting Edge will air at Shirlington. This 90s classic is a romantic comedy about a former ice hockey player and ambitious figure skater. The story is about how they learn to overcome their clashing personalities to achieve their common goals. And if you'd rather prefer comedy and watch live action than a screen, consider attending the library's Comedy Showcase. Students from the library's May Comedy Workshop will perform for the first time on Thursday, July 14th from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. The venue is P. Brennan's at 2910 Columbia Pike. Veterans and newbies will perform together. To learn more, visit the Fun and Games section of the events calendar on the library website. Greg.
All right, veterans and newbies performing together. That should be fun. And finally, in our CBB file, for something a bit more practical, you may want to consider attending a seminar on how to better manage your finances. Financial journalist Kimberly Palmer will discuss her book, Smart Mom, Rich Mom, How to Build Wealth While Raising a Family. Ms. Palmer will cover habits and financial choices and investments that can help you increase your wealth over time. For more information and to register for this free seminar, give them a call, 703-228-5999, or check the email afox@arlingtonva.us. This event will be held Tuesday, July 12 from 7 to 8:30 in the evening at the Central Library's auditorium. Might be some good information for you there. All right, we'll be back with our News for Seniors file after another installment of Rich Remembers.
Hi, this is Rich Massabny with the Arlington Weekly News. Possible topics that we could improvise on. And one of them is Rich's flaming youth. I was just a sweet young boy in those days, but I was aware of showbiz. Back in 1947, they had what was called the Friendship Train that left Los Angeles, and it had big movie stars on this open car. So I remember Glenn Ford was on there, and I got to meet somebody who was so beautiful in those days, Linda Donnell. Anybody remember her? Okay, good. Yeah, Linda Donnell, she was beautiful and wonderful. And here I was a kid, I have to admit it, but I was something about showbiz, something about movie stars, and I couldn't help not get involved with them, you know. I've had so many experiences with people in the entertainment field. I knew everybody who was anybody in Washington. And I mean, I could go to any restaurant, I could go to any theater, they all knew me. But getting back to, and the reason they knew me was there weren't that many people in the business, and then I made it my business to sort of get to be known. No. But I would have taken the job, I'll put it that way, if it came up, you know. Bourbon. I got my wife sitting right over here. That's true. She's my prompter, Judy. Yeah. There was the Maryland Club. Anybody remember that place? If you're an old timer, Don, you'd remember it. You didn't go there, did you, Don?
No, I don't think I remember.
Okay, it was really a nice place, 14th and L Street, and they had strippers there, but it was very elegant, and I managed always in those days to find my way into these places, you know. And now let's go back to the news desk.
Friend Rich, we hope he's doing better and can get back with us again soon.
We miss you, Rich.
Thanks, Rich. We do. Okay, as promised now, moving right along. I don't need my news. Yeah, I'll try my news for seniors glasses. Okay, here we go. News for seniors segment. Well, you can join the folks at Langston Brown to kick off the summer season. They're having an intergenerational ice cream social with the kids that attend Arlington County's summer camps. The folks at Langston Brown will have fun activities for all to enjoy, and of course, ice cream. That's coming up Friday, July 8th, from 11 till noon. But you'll have to call them to make sure that there's room for you there at the ice cream table. Give them a call. Here's the number, 703-228-6300. Adele.
Classical music is alive and exciting at Langston Brown with their monthly listening sessions. Join David Gray and explore some of the most popular and important pieces of the repertoire. He will provide historical background, plus information to help appreciate symphonies, sonatas, chamber music, opera, and other forms of art music. On Monday, July 11th, they will listen to and discuss Italiana. That's Monday, July 11th at Langston Brown from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Call 703-228-6300 to reserve your seat. Craig?
And that's a great event. I've attended one of those with David Gray, and he does a great job. Very knowledgeable, and it's wonderful if you like classical music. But here's something for you folk music lovers. Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, and Joni Mitchell are a few of the inspirations for this event. There may not be a campfire and cozy ponchos available, but this experience is just as heartwarming. That's coming up Tuesday, July 12 at Lee Senior Center from 11:30 to 1:30. For more information and to find out all about it, give them a call. The number should be on your screen there, 703-228-0555. Adele.
Get your hearing checked for free by the Northern Virginia Resource Center, the area's leading nonprofit for people with hearing loss. They provide information on hearing loss and help with various hearing assistance technologies. NVRC does not sell hearing aids or assistive devices. This will all take place on Wednesday, July 13th between 10 a.m. and noon at Culpeper Garden. The sessions are individual and confidential, so you must call to schedule an appointment. Their number is 703-228-4403. And I believe we have more good
stuff.
stuff coming
We'll
up.
be back with a quick bye-bye if we have time right after another installment of Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute. Here's Nort.
Hi, I'm Nort Beckerman with the Sustainable Scoop. I'm sitting in for Miriam Gennari tonight. There are some people who believe that the future of the human race is dependent upon our ability to populate space. And tonight I have two people with me who want to talk about that. Jay Simmons and Greg Moran. Jay, your position with the organization?
I'm the president and one of the founders of Mach 30.
Mach 30.
Yes.
You know, when Miriam asked me to do the interview about Mach 30, I said, wow, that'd be great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Well, Mach 30 is a nonprofit here in the U.S. that does open source spaceflight. In short, we design, build, and test hardware related to space, and then we give away the plans for free on the internet.
Okay. And what is the objective of your organization?
Well, we believe that it's essential for humanity to become a spacefaring civilization, and that's inevitable, but we'd like that to happen faster.
What do you think it's going to take for it to happen faster?
Well, that's where we think open source technology comes into play. Right now, if you wanted to start a space company, even if you had no business designing hardware, you'd first start by investing $500 million to $1 billion in how to build rockets, which if you were FedEx and you want to do that with airplanes, that's ridiculous. You'll never get funding for it.
Well, how does NASA come into play in all this?
The public sector has a slightly different aim. They have been tasked with achieving certain missions at different times, be it the construction of the space station over the last couple of decades or putting a human on the moon. But there's not been a sustainable effort to develop the economic and technical ecosystem so that everyone has access.
Well, that sounds rather, it sounds a whole big mouthful there. Greg, how do you fit into this whole picture?
So I'm the vice president of Mach 30 and one of the co-founders. Jay and I met in grad school and had this crazy idea together. We hashed it out over lunch one day, and it all took off from there.
So your hardware, software involved?
My background is in aero and astro systems engineering, so technical, but my involvement with the organization is really more on the operational side, the organizational part of it.
Oh, that's important, particularly when you're dealing with volunteers.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
What are the objectives of your organization?
Long-term to...
Yeah, long-term. What are your long-term objectives?
Long-term to pave access to space for everyone by ensuring that the essential technologies for access to low Earth orbit, basically where the station is available to anyone to build upon by open sourcing all the related technologies to rockets and communications with rockets, putting people and cargo into space.
So if I have the money to build a ship, you can offer me the software, the technology in order to, the blueprints basically.
Exactly.
That's
To
the
get it
idea.
going.
That's the idea.
Oh, well, that sounds sort of neat. Everything's got to start someplace, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, you know. But what are your short-term goals? I mean, in the near future.
Well, we have a project going on right now called Ground Sphere, and it's a small-scale satellite receiver. Basically, we're doing all of the design work, all the prototyping and testing to put this piece of hardware out into the hands of anybody that wants it. Relatively low scale, small scale, and low cost.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be available in any school, in any club.
Well, you bring up an interesting point. Do you go to schools and talk at schools about this? Do you try to get people at schools interested?
That's one of our longer-term goals. We have done work in the past with the Coca-Cola Space Science Center, and their STEM educational outreach mission is right on target with some of the stuff that we do.
Now, as I understand it, there are a number of these organizations throughout the country, or throughout the world.
Absolutely.
And do you coordinate with these, or?
We've partnered with some of them over at times. Every one of them's got slightly different objectives and methodologies, and so when our objectives overlap, we work together, and when not, we support one another and cheer each other on, but work independently.
Boy, this is just fascinating. It really is.
Excellent.
I was looking at some of the videos that you all have up on YouTube, and the lander is that something else that's involved? I was looking at a space lander.
That's we showed you a couple of landing vehicles, one from SpaceX and one
Yeah.
from Blue Origin,
Blue,
right?
yes.
So those are two commercial companies working on reusable rockets. But both of those are commercial entities, so their technology is proprietary. Even when they're successful, if you wanted to go into business yourself, you'd have to reinvent the wheel for that.
That's very costly.
Exactly.
That'd be very costly. Well, how do you share information with these other organizations? I guess you do.
We do.
Oh, absolutely.
The main way that we share information about our designs is through our Open Design Engine website. Basically, it's for open source hardware, and we get to share all aspects of the design process from the early prototyping and just experimental stage, all the way through the design maturation, testing, and results. We document everything so that, again, we do this once for everybody, and nobody has to reinvent the wheel.
That sounds great. Now, do you have any upcoming events that that are going to be in the near future that our audience would like to know about?
Absolutely.
Yep. So this August, on August 6th, it's a Saturday, we'll be holding our annual conference. It's called Apogee, and this year it'll be at the Tech Shop in Crystal City / Arlington, Virginia.
Okay. And how can people get in touch with you?
The best way is probably engaging through social media. We have pretty much every social media site, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, our YouTube channel, and look up mach30.org.
Mach30.org.
And that's M-A-C-H for those that don't know, and then the number 30.
mach30.org. Well, listen, I want to thank you both for coming. I mean, it's been great, and I find it really exciting. Yes. Now back to the studio, and thank you guys in the control room.
He doesn't do sustainable scoop. All right, thanks, Nort. Nort, and talking with
That was really cool.
Greg Moran and J Simmons and their Mach 30 stuff, that's pretty wild. They get that rocket to land like that in the ocean. How do they do
That's
that?
very cool.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
Anyway, that's about a wrap. That's our show. Anything to add before we go? Anything you'd like to say? Do we have time?
I know. Usually we don't have much.
We
right?
don't. We never have any time.
No, usually it's a rush.
This is our post 4th of July show for 2016, and boy, it was hot today. I hope you had a
Now
place to
it's
cool
the
off and get wet. And boy, we're into July now, so be safe out there and find a place to be cool. And if you don't have to be out in that stuff, stay inside. Okay, that's our show. We got to go. Thanks for watching. Next week, if you're there, we'll be here and we'll do it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.